Hi, this is Riley Coburn, and this is my presentation on my hazard analysis report of the mechanic shop. It's going to include an overview of the site, a list of the identified hazards, as well as my recommendations for how to mitigate these hazards. So the mechanic shop is located on the University of New England campus, located in Biddeford, Maine. There are 15 full-time employees. They range in ages between 30 and 65. 90% of them are men and 10% are women. The regular schedule for work is 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. They get 2 15-minute breaks and an hour lunch. There have been 3 back injuries in the past 5 years, causing a loss of 10 days of work total. There are no OSHA citations for the mechanic shop, but there's also no safety committee on campus. So the hazards I identified from my hazard analysis were heavy lifting, awkward positioning, noise, vibrations, and chemicals. So my first recommendation to mitigate the hazards of heavy lifting and awkward positioning is to contact the Lawrence Lab on the Portland campus to see if they could bring their motion capture system and Biodex machine to the shop. And this can be used to determine what awkward positions the mechanics work in pretty commonly, as well as how they lift heavy objects, to see if there's anything that should be changed to help make sure they're not going to injure themselves while they're working. My other recommendations for heavy lifting and awkward positioning: limit single-person lifting to 50 pounds or less. This is important even when they're changing tires, which can be between 50 and 70 pounds. Storing heavy objects on shelves can be helpful because then they aren't going to be lifted from ground level. This makes injuries less likely. Lifting should be done by holding the object between knee and chest height. This is the power position. It helps keep injuries to a minimum. Jobs should be rotated, so one mechanic isn't always working in an awkward position or always doing the heavy lifting. And for jobs where this is a requirement, they should work in teams so that they can switch off those jobs. My recommendations for noise: the first is an engineering intervention. Going through the shop and testing the distance workers need to be away from different types of machinery and tools that are in use in the shop for them to safely not wear PPEs. That would be noise-canceling headphones. Physically isolating workers from lab machinery and tools by keeping them in separate rooms or putting up noise barriers can help. And then, if at all possible, quieter tools and machinery can be invested in. My recommendations for vibration: personal protective equipment that protects against hand-arm vibration, such as when they're using the air hammer. If possible, replacing high vibration tools with lower vibrational value tools to protect the mechanics. And then an administrative intervention can be compiling a list of all the machinery and tools in the shop, listing their vibration values, and then how long employees can use them each day without putting themselves in danger. My recommendation for the chemicals in the shop is to store the material safety data sheets, the MSDS, in a single location in the shop as well as near each chemical, so that in the event of an accident or spill, it's easy to find the data sheet. Either a refresher course, or if it hasn't occurred yet, an initial course for all the mechanics in chemical safety, as well as how to clean up any spills or take care of any accidents that happen. And then administrative intervention is going around the shop and making sure that all chemicals that are there are very clearly labeled, so that in the event of an accident, it'll be very obvious what the chemical is and what needs to be done. Here are my references. Thank you.